Rainy weather has pushed back a lane change project for traffic on I-49 that was set to begin this week.
While copper wire and tubing are the most popular stolen items due to their high market value, Baker says criminals will try to get their hands on almost anything. Haas Hall, behind me, Haas Hall Academy in Fayetteville, has one of the highest graduation rates in the state and is one of the smallest schools. It got a full makeover, everything from new flooring, walls, restrooms, even the addition of this new giant fishtail.
An online stream for every single athletic event produced right here in this building in the new studio.
It's an up-and-coming crime. We've seen more and more of it every year.
Detective Dan Baker with Fayetteville PD says as the recycling craze grows, criminals find it easier to sell stolen metals without being detected. But police and local scrapyards are trying to put a stop to this new trend among thieves.
Usually where there's smoke, there's fire. If somebody's stealing just a little bit here, we can track them back to where they've stolen a bunch. We've arrested people standing in line because of Leads Online.
Leads Online is an online database where businesses can upload purchase reports. Police then compare theft reports with items posted on Leads Online to find stolen property that people have tried to pawn or sell. At these businesses, customers go through a process before selling any high-dollar metals, converters, or appliances to make sure Leads Online is kept up to date with recently sold items.
There's usually a fingerprint scan of some sort, the photo of the property being purchased by the business, a photo of the person, in my case the suspect, selling the property, and if they have it, a photo of their identification or driver's license card.
When selling copper specifically, customers are also required to fill out a form clarifying when and where they obtained the metals. All information is posted to Leads Online for police to cross-reference. Businesses can play a role in catching criminals by using their intuition and contacting authorities.
Somebody will pull in a $100 car with $1,000 worth of copper. That kind of throws a red flag to me.
While copper wire and tubing are the most popular stolen items due to their high market value, Baker says criminals will try to get their hands on almost anything.
Anything copper wire, jacketed or not. And the next rising thing is catalytic converters off a vehicle have platinum. And criminals will just hit a big parking lot at a mall or a Walmart somewhere and slip underneath one and cut it off, and they'll be gone in just a minute or less.
Reporting for UATV, I'm Haley Vaughn.
Obviously they're competition, so we were a little bit, it's a little bit nerve-wracking anytime competition moves in.
Marketing Director for Ozark Natural Foods, Alexa McGriff, says since the news first broke about the Whole Foods market coming to Fayetteville, many people have asked what this means for the long-time local co-op.
Yeah, it'll be the first, really apple to apple, exactly the same type of business comparison. But more than nervous, we're just excited that more people will have access to healthy foods.
Whole Foods has 374 locations across the United States, Canada, and the UK, with 99 new stores in development. McGriff says they do not see the international brand name as a threat, just another way to raise awareness.
They're going to bring a lot of customers who may not shop at our store into their store, which means that more people here are going to be eating healthy.
Unlike Whole Foods Market, Ozark Natural Foods is a co-op who sells and supports locally grown goods and farms. McGriff says this is their main advantage over the retail giant.
A lot of people in Fayetteville do appreciate local, and so they may come here to buy the things that they learn about instead of going to Whole Foods.
I want to be able to make a change in people when it counts.
Martin Schottmeyer founded Haas Hall Academy 10 years ago in a converted dairy barn with only 17 students enrolled. The small school offered 10th through 12th grade education and struggled with enrollment, but Dr. S. didn't let that keep him from his goal.
Nothing came easy. People laughed at us initially, thought it was a fluke. It won't last. I got told that all the time by people.
After 5 years of working out of the barn, Haas Hall has risen to the highest-ranked public school in Arkansas and was able to move to a new location on North College in 2009. That first year at the new location, the school had more students pre-enrolled than had attended Haas Hall in the previous 5 years.
Every day at Haas Hall, we're shooting to the top. There's no excuse. There's no complacency here because I didn't create Haas Hall Academy to be #1 in Arkansas. We did that in a dairy barn in Farmington. My goal is to be #1 in the nation.
Now another 5 years has passed, and the college-bound program is once again looking to expand. Seeking out new locations in Bentonville and Fayetteville with a plan to expand from 8th through 12th grade education to pre-K through 12th.
My idea is to have 2 campuses, one school, one mission, and one community.
Dr. S hasn't only established a school that produces college-ready students, he has built a school with a unique program that connects with its students individually.
Teachers are really active in what they teach us, and they really care about the students. And
because you need to practice on that to be a merit scholar.
It's been so great. I don't want to leave. It's like I have another family here.
The story of Haas Hall Academy isn't just the story of a school. It's the story of the man behind the school, a man who dedicated his life to giving Arkansas's youth a brighter future. Reporting for UATV, I'm Haley Vaughn.
The Garden Club at Butterfield Elementary planted its roots in 2011 and has been a hit among the students ever since, giving children a bridge between food in the ground and meals on their plates.
They see the full cycle happen. They put the seed in the ground, they watch it grow, and then they harvest it and they create a really tasty snack out of it.
Children meet weekly to work on their self-made gardens, doing everything they can to make sure their plants thrive. Students are out of school in 2 weeks, which begs the question of just what happens to the garden over the summer.
It takes about 10 hours a week for volunteer work from students, volunteers, and parents to keep Butterfield's rain garden going each and every week. Now, that'll continue into the summer as parents signed up for volunteer hours to help out the school's garden.
Parents work in the summer by watering plants, weeding, mowing, and even laying mulch. The wave of parent involvement comes from a realization about what this project does for their children.
And they learn from having the children in Garden Club that their kids are willing to explore more things than they initially thought. And the biggest transformation I've seen is where the kids are actually eating snacks that they wouldn't at home. They'll eat radishes for me, but at home they won't eat them. Or they eat chives and they like it, and it's just because we prepared it in a different way.
Parents and Appleseed volunteers will also plant new produce like corn, squash, and cucumbers over the summer, so the children will have new vegetables to harvest when they return to school in August.
Children are really capable of a lot more than we give them credit for, and one of them is really to tend to a garden, and they really enjoy being outdoor and exploring.
Reporting for UATV, I'm Haley Vaughn. That's right, the new release graduation rates show something very peculiar. They've found that the larger schools around Arkansas have lower graduation rates than the smaller schools. Haas Hall, behind me, Haas Hall Academy in Fayetteville, has one of the highest graduation rates in the state and is one of the smallest schools. With only about 300 enrolled, they have a graduation rate of 100%, while for schools like Fayetteville and Bentonville, with thousands of students enrolled, have graduation rates in the mid to high 80s. I talked to Superintendent of Haas Hall Academy, Martin Schottmeyer, and he says that he would contribute the higher graduation rates in small schools like Haas Hall to student-teacher interaction. The more students you have, the less teacher interaction they can get. Reporting for UATV, I'm Haley Vaughn.
I'm here at Bud Walton Arena, where the construction of the new production studio ESPN is funding for the SEC Network is underway. The arrival of the SEC Network means exposure for every sport on campus. There'll be an online stream for every single athletic event produced right here in this building in the new studio. ESPN funded every single piece of equipment in the new production studio. Everything from new cameras, state-of-the-art TD boards, and the production team will even be using ESPN's own graphics when producing the events. Now, that production team that will be working in the new studio isn't made up of your professional ESPN crew. It will be made up of Arkansas Razorback students running and learning how to use all of this state-of-the-art equipment. When the studio goes live this fall, it'll mark the start of a new era at the U of A. Reporting for UATV, I'm Haley Vaughn. That's right, I'm here at Wilson Park, where the pool is set to open June 6th. Now, this year the city is not only celebrating the opening of the pool, but is hosting a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the new renovations to the pool house behind me. It got a full makeover, everything from new flooring, walls, restrooms, even the addition of this new giant fishtail to the back of the house. Admission will be free throughout opening day, and at 9 o'clock that night, they will show one of their traditional dive-in movies. Monsters University will be shown on a 25-foot blow-up screen on top of the pool house. The park is set to host 4 more dive-in movies throughout the summer. The city says they hope people come out and bring their kids to check out the new renovations, as they expect between 400 and 600 people to visit the pool on opening day. The pool will also be open on Mondays this year for the first time since 2008. Reporting for UATV, I'm Haley Vaughn.